Hello everyone. Welcome to TaxExterminator.com, where we kill taxes dead. You're going to learn how to reduce your taxes legally beginning today. Hi, I'm Brent Jordan. I'm your host. I'm a veteran tax attorney, UCLA former adjunct professor, and current district court trial judge. Today's webinar is entitled The 12 Biggest Tax Mistakes That Cost Business Owners Thousands of Dollars Each Year. This webinar is based upon the following legal authority: the IRS Tax Code, United States Treasury Regulation and Tax Court Rulings, and the IRS Revenue Procedures, Private Letter Rulings, Publications, the Manual, and Tax Forms. Today's segment is entitled Missing Meals Deductions. Before we begin, a little humor. Two men walking out of a restaurant. One man turns to the other and says, "That lunch didn't agree with me. It wasn't tax deductible." We're going to look at the following areas as far as whether a business owner can obtain a meal deduction. First, customers and business prospects, then Dutch treat, going alone, meals with family, and then meals at home. Most business owners know that if they take an existing customer or business prospect to a lunch, that meal is tax deductible. The main requirements are that the meal is prearranged and that there's a business discussion. This means that you cannot just show up at a restaurant, see someone at the other table that you know, and have a meal deduction. The better policy is to prearrange or schedule the meal in advance. And as far as a business discussion is concerned, as long as you have that discussion 24 hours before or 24 hours after the meal, the IRS will approve of the meal deduction. There's various other factors, but these are the essential two requirements for a customer and business prospect meal deduction. Now, most business owners don't know that if they schedule a lunch with a client or prospective client or customer, and the business owner pays for his or her meal, and the customer or prospective customer pays for his or her own meal, that the business owner can still obtain a meal deduction. Certain requirements are involved, but it is approved by the IRS, and I call this Dutch treat. And very few business owners know that if they go somewhere alone, that they can deduct their meal. Such a place might be a Chamber of Commerce meeting, or a Kiwanis Club meeting, or a meeting with a network group of people. But the business owner is traveling there alone and can deduct a certain portion of the meal. The IRS has a more limitation on this than the prior deductions for meals, but it is possible to obtain this deduction as well. Now, this is a happy group. Imagine you're a business owner and you have your wife with you, and you go to a restaurant at night and you meet a customer or a prospective customer. If that customer brings his wife, then you can obtain a meal deduction for both couples. And this also includes families. If both people, the business owner and the customer or prospective customer, brings a family along. Certain requirements are necessary for this deduction, but it is possible and it is fully blessed by the IRS. Now, what happens as far as your home is concerned? Can a business owner eat a meal in a home, more specifically in his or her home, and get a meal deduction? The answer is definitely yes. Customers, no problem, as long as it's prearranged and there's a business purpose. Business prospects, the same tests. Couples, the same test as eating at a restaurant. As far as groups are concerned, I would recommend you keep the group to 12 people or less. That way the IRS knows that you have an opportunity to discuss business with each individual. If the group is larger than 12, and like in this example is a raging party, the deduction can still be obtained, but there has to be certain creative methods employed, and the IRS will approve it. Finally, if a business owner brings his or her employees over his home for dinner and a meal, that of course is tax deductible. U.S. Senator Russell Long once said, "A tax loophole is something that benefits the other guy. If it benefits you, it is tax reform." There's a treasure chest of free money buried in your business. Claim it today. Well, that wraps up another segment of the webinar entitled The 12 Biggest Tax Mistakes That Cost Business Owners Thousands of Dollars Each Year, brought to you by TaxExterminator.com, home of the Proactive Tax Plan. Thanks for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you for our next segment, number 5, entitled Missing Entertainment Deductions.